Oh, hey, Aladdin is out. Let's take a look at his mastery. Is that a JoJo reference? So with Smite 2 finally entering open beta, being access to everyone, I want to talk about their newest god they released, that being Aladdin. So, how is Aladdin? Is he a good addition for the game, or is he maybe a flop? I'll be going through his kit and give my final thoughts of this god at the end, so without further ado, let's talk about Aladdin. So before we talk anything about Aladdin's kit, let's go over two things real quick, that being how his basic attack works and what role he is. So Aladdin has a unique basic attack chain, that being a high, light, and medium attack. Aladdin is a magical dealing jungler, which is not a very few many gods we have in Smite. In Smite 1 there is only mainly two magical junglers, those being Al Quain and Mama Brigitte. Now let's talk about Aladdin's kit. His passive is called 3 Wishes. This passive has two different versions of it, one being an item and the other one being an actual passive. I'll go over the item first since that's the most interesting part of Aladdin's kit. So Aladdin gets an item called Genie's Lamp at the start of the game. While this item does give Aladdin at any stats, its passive gives away 2% in gaining 0.75% per level extra stats to all items Aladdin gets. This item also is an active, giving Aladdin 3 different wishes he can use. Those being wealth, immortality, and power. All can be used once per game. When using wealth gives Aladdin 250 gold and for 3 minutes gains 100 extra gold when getting an elimination or assist to enemy gods. Immortality can only be used when Aladdin is dead, and when used, Aladdin revives himself and gives him 75% movement speed when leaving the fountain for 10 seconds. Lastly is power, resets all of Aladdin's cooldowns from abilities, relic, and item cooldowns. Out of all the 3 wishes, I believe power is the most powerful since you get a full reset to all your cooldowns and you can make some pretty insane plays with that. The second part of Aladdin's passive is Genie's Strength, which gives Aladdin's abilities additional effects. This passive has 2 charges and each has a 15-second cooldown. So Aladdin's first ability is called Cufic Invocation. This is a charge-up ability that has 2 different kinds of radiuses. If fired early, Aladdin will send up to 5 symbols damaging anything in its way in a cone-like radius. If fully charged up, this ability will become a large line projectile and will deal more damage. If Aladdin has any Genie's Strength charges, he can recall this ability, sending a projectile back where Aladdin was at. Aladdin's second ability is called Sultan's Grace. Aladdin will dash forward, damaging all gods in his way. Additionally, Aladdin deals 1% increased damage for each percentage of health 50% or lower to the enemy god. If you use a charge of Genie's Strength, you will have the Genie slam down a total of 5 times in an AoE circle in front of you. Aladdin's third ability is called Agile Run. Aladdin will charge forward, and once you collide against a wall, you'll run up it. This will make you untargetable to even towers when you use this ability. You can then leap off the wall and damage enemies you land on. If you use a charge of Genie's Strength, you then will slam down, dealing bonus damage and doing a knock-up to enemies. Finally, we have Aladdin's ultimate called Into the Lamp. Aladdin will throw his lamp at an enemy god, sending both him and the target into the lamp, where they enter the Genie's arena and fight. Both will have their health restored to a minimal amount, but Aladdin will have all of his non-ultimate cooldowns reset, while the enemy will have their cooldowns halved. Once either Aladdin or the enemy god dies, they will then leave the lamp, or once the duration ends. On the battlefield, and both enemy and ally gods can enter into the lamp to join in the fight. And this is definitely my favorite part of Aladdin's kit, because it can just lead to some chaotic funness when everyone just goes in the lamp and just brawls with each other. So what are my thoughts of Smite 2's newest god? Well, when it comes to gameplay, it's a mixed bag for me. I really like how Aladdin's kit works, mainly from how unique his passive, giving him a personal active item, to how different his movement ability is compared to all other gods. But at the same time, it is also a bit frustrating to deal with. When playing Aladdin right, not only he's a pretty damn slippery god, he also deals very heavy damage. But that's the thing, playing him right, and I know this same could be used for any other god in Smite, but Aladdin is more night and day for me. Personally, I haven't met a player who's just okay with Aladdin. They either go 2 to 10 or 15 and 3. But besides gameplay, Aladdin's visuals are incredible. Whenever it was data mined that Aladdin was going to be the next new god for Smite 2, I was a bit skeptical. However, I just fell in love how good he looks in the game, and also the genie just looks really cool. It makes me really excited to see what skins they come up with him. The only downside I would just say about Aladdin is not really a huge one, just one personal grip I have when it comes to Smite adding new gods. That is adding new pantheons to the game. While I'm not saying we should just stick with the pantheons we currently have, it's kind of to see pantheons get added but don't get new gods for a while. Take an example, Pele was added in Smite back in 2018, introducing the Polynesian pantheon. And it took them 4 years just to add a new god to that pantheon, aka Maui, in 2022. So while I'm excited in the direction when it comes to different god picks for Smite 2, I just hope characters like Aladdin don't get left in dust with their pantheons. But that's all I gotta say for Aladdin. What do you think? Do you love this god or do you hate this god? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. But that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, go to the channel. Hitting that subscribe button, that would be appreciated. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out and have a good one.